All right. Thank you, Stinger. Thank you, Stinger, for holding my seat and holding the fort down here. Hello, everybody. Bill Apter down here in Apter's Alley. Welcome. It's so great to be back here in the alley. As you know, last week we did not do our usual weekly show, and I'm toying with the idea, and I need your feedback here. Toying with the idea of making this video podcast a little bit later in the evening, now that here in the eastern area of the United States, it's lighter, longer, and it's warm out, and there's other things to do sometimes. So we might be changing this to a little later time on the same night. Hey, everybody. Hey, yo. And hey, Trey Porter. Great to see everybody in here. We have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots of news going on. And I want to answer a lot of your questions, because one of the comments is, hey, Bill, we love your show, but we want to talk back and forth a little bit more. So any questions that you have, as I can spy them, as I'm looking into the camera, I will check them out and answer them. Also, in just a few minutes, Dr. D, David Schultz, will be here. Now, as you know, my book is titled, Is Wrestling Fixed? I Didn't Know It Was Broken. Dr. D, David Schultz, came out with a book called Don't Call Me Fake. Now, I don't know, everybody talks about the one part of his career where he slapped reporter Geraldo Rivera on 2020 or 60 Minutes, one of those shows, and that rocketed him to instant fame, because Geraldo asked him if wrestling was fixed. Again, Teddy, I'm going to answer questions, but I want to stay on topic for a while. So if you have some questions about what we're talking about right now, I'll definitely get to them. So with Dr. D, David Schultz will be contacted later on. Also, why did it end? Why it ended? Robbie E, that's the name of his podcast, and it's doing really well, and he will grace us with his presence a little bit later on. So let's talk about what's going on. The first thing I want to do is acknowledge the, and I hate to start the show off this way, but I want to acknowledge the passing of Big Bully Nick Busick, who died several days ago. And I know I said on the website, printed on onewrestling.com, that he was one of the sweetest, nicest people I ever knew. And I know I say that a lot about a lot of people, but it's absolutely true. The guy was, he looked like a big bully, which is why he was named Big Bully Busick. Hi, Michael. But underneath that big bully facade, he was really a sweet guy. Last time I saw him was, let me look at when I was, hang on, I'll be right back. Right, don't go anywhere. I know I did an interview with him on Skype that I ran on onewrestling.com and onewrestlingvideo.com back in 2015. And the last time I saw him in person was actually, it was at the KSWA Hall of Fame when I was inducted into that. Nick Busick was there, and I had a great chat with him, and he was just such a super guy. We're going to miss you, Big Bully Busick. And of course, I'm still reeling from the death of Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, I really am. Also heard that the Luchador Universo 2000 passed away recently. Questions for Dr. D, David Schultz, are welcome here. I see that we do. Yeah, John Stossel, right. It was not, I'm sorry, I said Geraldo Rivera. My editor, TV, Travis Volt, who does our some of our rankings here. Yeah, and I saw that. I saw when that happened. It was John Stossel. So thank you for correcting me. I've been in this business a little over 50 years, and some of this stuff I remember parts of and not all of. So, yeah, we will go back and ask your questions to Dr. D. So let me go back to some of this other stuff that I want to talk about. TMZ, as you know, recently broke the news that, alleged news that Hulk Hogan was dealing with WWE and just on the verge of coming back. It was just going to happen, and that the people in Saudi Arabia, the promoters in Saudi Arabia, wanted him in there, and WWE sent out a very polite response to that, saying that although what Hogan is doing, talking to groups of people and educating them not to do what he did, that no deal has been made yet. People have asked me, do I want to see Hogan back in the WWE? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Hulk Hogan, I think he's paid for his mistakes, because he should have been back in the WWE quite a while ago. And I'm not talking about as a wrestler, like one last match or anything like that. I don't think I want to see that. But as a figurehead, maybe as a general manager or something, or just to be a goodwill ambassador for the WWE, I do want to see Hulk Hogan come back. And I know the WWE has moved on from the Hogan days. We know that. But then again, he was one of the people that were totally responsible for changing the way that we look at pro wrestling or sports entertainment today, whether you like that or you don't. So, yeah. I also have gotten a few questions in the past few weeks of what did I think about Titus O'Neil's great missing the ring there. Boy, he became the biggest superstar in that greatest Royal Rumble, didn't he? Yeah. Titus, thumbs up. I thought it was a great moment, and I'm sure that's what people are talking to him about all the time. All right. Now, I assume you have heard, and if you're not, you've been on another planet, about this big all-in show that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are financing. And this all came about from kind of, I don't know if it was a bet or whatever, but Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer that he didn't think that they could draw 10,000 fans. And Cody took him up on that bet, and there will be a show. But what I want to tell you about, though, I want to tell you about the press conference that's just been announced. It's on May 13th, all in Chicago, and 2018. There will be a press conference at 1 p.m. on May 13th, and it will be online. So if you go to their Twitter page, all_in_2018, you can get more information. It'll be at the Sears Center Arena at the Hoffman Estates, and they say that they're going to draw 10,000 fans. That's what they're trying to draw. And this is nice because Ring of Honor management is cooperating with them as well. And the indies have taken on a life of its own. If you look around at MLW and some of these other independents, the indies are becoming more and more popular as an alternative to the WWE. And WWE has upped their, up the way they're doing wrestling right now. There's less sports entertainment on a lot of their shows. And I'm just trying to see on the Apter phone here. Periodically, I get that beep. Just want to make sure when our guest is ready. Okay. People always ask me about a dream match. So I'm going to start a weekly thing of a dream match. And I would like you to comment, and we'll get to these later in the show, toward the end of the show. So you can hold your comments till the end of the show. Here's this week's dream match, in my opinion. This is where I'm going with this, all right? In one corner is the phenomenal AJ Styles. The phenomenal AJ Styles in one corner. In the other corner, going back to his prime days, to his prime days against AJ Styles would be the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. So Shawn Michaels in his prime against the current version of the phenomenal AJ Styles. Who would win? How would he win? What would you think of that dream match? Again, we're going to get to that toward the end of the show. Right now, what I'd like to do is go to the gorilla position. And in the gorilla position is our correspondent, Ryan Bowman, and he has picked this week's Apter Video Magazine podcast Wrestler of the Week. So let's go to the gorilla position right now and see who Ryan
I'm
has
Ryan
got.
Bowman from thegorillaposition.com, telling the stories of pro wrestling storytellers, here to present this week's edition of the Apter Video Podcast, Wrestler of the Week. In the midst of a streak that's led to his ascension to the Intercontinental title, Rollins keeps on rolling. Since we last left Seth Rollins, he was drawing rave reviews for his Iron Man performance on Raw a few weeks back. And he didn't stop there, making a leap of faith from the top rope to the top of the ladder, where he snatched both victory and his belt away from Finn Balor at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Then he and Balor would follow that up with a classic rematch just 3 days later, as Monday Night Rollins continued to put his signature on WWE's flagship show. But perhaps this week, he put an exclamation point behind that signature with the match of the night against The Miz at Backlash. The two veteran performers showed why they are among the elite big game players of the past decade, with Rollins edging out a successful title defense. He then followed that up with yet another convincing victory over Mojo Rawley Monday night after the former football player answered the Architect's open challenge. It's looking more and more like this time around, Rollins is on the type of run that will take him from superstar to megastar.
Yeah.
But for right now, he's currently on the type of winning streak that's rarely seen in WWE these days. And that makes Seth Rollins our pick for this edition's Wrestler of the Week.
I agree. Thank you so much, Ryan Bowman, for your report. And as you know, the gorilla position, www.thegorillaposition.com. Ryan Bowman, just an excellent reporter. And thank you for doing that, Ryan, each week. Okay, it is almost 7:15. 7:15, we try and get a hold of our very first guest, and we are going to find out from Dr. D. David Schultz. I know everyone's asked him the question why he slapped John Stossel, not Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo was an investigative reporter, but not that story. Again, thank you, Travis Volt. I got so much going on in my mind. Let's get to the Aptophone here. And this is live, folks. So these things happen. All right, let's go and call our first guest. Unfortunately, I can't tell you I can't give you the phone number. It's ringing. And we got this great book here.
Hello.
Is this Dr. D. David Schultz,
This is the doctor, the one and only, live and in color on my porch.
Well, on your porch. Oh my goodness. So
Oh man, I'm out here. I'm looking at the woods. I just sent John a picture of what I'm looking at, and he said, "That's beautiful." I said, "Yeah, it's beautiful. The deer and the apple trees and the dogs running around and waiting for the deer to run the dogs and the dogs to run the deer. You run each other,
They do.
So,
now, wait a minute. Where is this exactly, Dr. D?
This is in Tennessee.
All right. Well, we're here in Philadelphia. We're live, and it's so good to hear your voice. It's been many years since you and I have chatted.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, well, we're live right now in Philadelphia at Apter's Alley, but and I remember when you visited our offices back when I was with the magazines, when you visited our offices back in Philadelphia too.
That's right. That's right. I did come to your office. You did some interviews, some pictures for me. You did a hell of a job, too.
Yeah,
Let me tell you,
well,
one of the best pictures we got is the one you did for us, my wife and myself. Because, you know, you're on the road so much, you don't get time to go and get these pictures made. And pretty soon the time just eats you up. It's been 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You know, where does it go?
Well,
I don't know.
I want to tell you that I started reading the book and I saw that picture that I took, page 172. So far, it's become one of my favorite parts of the book. No, I was thrilled. Thank you for mentioning me in that photograph. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that was, she loves that picture, and we got it hanging in the house. And,
oh, I do too.
You know, only thing about it, me being in my wrestling tights, but, you know, it don't make a doubt. You know, my whole life was my wrestling tights, you know.
It was. I always told people when they said, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I take pictures of half-naked men in bathing suits."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What a job, huh?
Beating each other up. So before we talk about your book, tell everybody what you're doing these days.
Well, really, I'm just I'm easing along. You know, I do a lot of trucking for different companies part time. Like I'm on call for different companies, and they call me, and I'll work a week or two for them, and then I'll get mad and quit. But I mean, it's just a part time thing anyway for me. You know, I've got this. I call it the compound out here, and you know, we grow a lot of hay, and I help a lot of the neighbors, a lot of the disabled veterans and the seniors that are just down and out, and that fills my time up. I've got, I've got too many people to take care of, but
That's
you know,
good.
you hate to see them. You hate to see them do without, you know, especially in these cold winters that go by. And, you know, they burn wood. So I go and cut their wood, and I end up taking it to them, and, you know, and I stack it for them. And I mean, you know, they're not able to do it. And, you know, I do it for them. And, you know, what a nice guy, huh?
Yeah, really. But you know, you have that, you're a nice guy, but yet I know that other side of you that's been a bounty hunter and so many other things, but it's wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been wonderful that that you're doing this.
You know, I still do that every once in a while. I get calls just about every week, a couple of days a week. I do a lot of security work overseas. Usually I go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks as a replacement, you know, job on these security sites. And I'm about ready to back out of that. But I was in Poland for 3 years, Sikorsky Aircraft, as a project engineer, running 2 aircraft plants, and
Really?
I did that for 3 years. Yeah, you thought I was just old redneck dummy, didn't you?
No. I knew if I thought you were doing that, you'd come after me. I know that.
Oh yeah, these people. Well, you let people think you don't know too much, and you get by a lot easier by just letting it slide by, you know, instead of trying to challenge these brains. And they think they know everything anyway, and they're not going to be convinced of anything else. So you let them go ahead and believe what they want, you know?
Yeah, I got a lot of people texting in here with questions, but I've got a few of my own that I want to talk to you about. So when did let's first of all, the book, Don't Call Me Fake. My book is called Is Wrestling Fixed? I Didn't Know It Was Broken. So this, I got a kick out of the title here, and I know what this is all about. It, of course, brings us back to the John Stossel thing, but the book has just come out recently. So why now?
Well, you know, I went on for years. I tried to do a book about 10 years ago, and Vince McMahon squashed that. And in other words, he told the people, hey, if you do this book about Schultz, you'll never do no our books again. So they backed out real quick, which I understand. And then I finally said, well, I'm going to do a book and leave Vince out of it. Not tell none of the garbage that I have on Vince. Not tell anything that on the next book, which I'm planning on another book, to talk about the scrupulous promoters of the wrestling industry and what they do and what been charged with and why they haven't been charged with different things, and everybody else gets charged with it, and these guys get away with it, you know. But that's another book, another road down the road. Anyway, I wanted to get it out. John Cosper, I got a hold of him through
guy.
Bob Bryla, and John Cosper. We had a meeting and we talked, and you know, he seemed like a pretty good guy, you know. And I told him what I wanted, and I said, listen, first thing, I don't want no crap in there. I don't want no bullshit in there.
Good.
I want it true. Everything's got to be true. And I said, I don't want to stretch it or anything else. And we come up with the title, Don't Call Me Fake, because, you know, I'm an entertainer. I'm an exhibitionist. I'm a cartoon character. I'm a redneck. I'm whatever. I'm not fake. I'm definitely not fake. I'm anything else you want to call me. It makes no difference anymore.
Well, you know, when people back in the day when wrestling, when we all protected that word fake, people didn't understand that, you know, you guys were, and the guys today too, were incredible athletes doing this. That's not fake. That's not the right word.
Yes, and they don't, you know, and they don't understand that. They think that's, you know, I don't know what they think, man. I know once you get in there and you prove yourself, and you're on TV, you're on Main Event, Madison Square Gardens, and all over the world.
Yeah.
You've earned your right to go in there and do what you got to do. And the only thing I always wanted the people to have a great show, because they pay a lot of money to come see these matches and these entertainers or exhibitionists or whatever they want to call their stuff. And I can't see some of these people going out there, and these people leave and they're so upset because they didn't get their money for it. They work hard for their money, and they deserve a good show.
Well, you are a tough son of a gun in there, because people, when you got into the ring, there was no doubt that this wasn't fake. When Dr. D got in the ring, you fought, you gave it all. People were scared of you.
Yep, and I got a lot of problems over that because they said I was too tough. Some of the guys complaining, all this. I said, hey, tell them to stay home on the porch in a rocking chair if they don't like it.
No.
Because we're out here, and these guys, if I'm too tough for them, tell them to sign off, because I'm not changing my way. I'm not going to go out there and swing at a guy and miss him 6 inches. I'm going to hit the guy, and if he moves, I'm going to hit him next time.
Yeah.
But, you know, and these guys, a lot of them complain, but, you know, most of them didn't. Take Bruiser Brody, for instance.
I was just going to talk to you. He was just coming to mind. So tell me what you're going to tell me, and then I have something to talk to you about with them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, Bruiser Brody is one of the toughest guys I ever been in the ring with. He was no joke. He was no fake. He was an entertainer. He was a great entertainer, exhibitionist, fighter, whatever you wanted. And when I got in the ring with Brody, I worked with him in California for about 2 weeks up and down the coast in different places. And I get in the ring with him. I had these flashbacks at Herb Welch stretching me when I was trying to get in business. And I couldn't get out of the car when I got home. My wife would have to come out and help me out of the car because I actually couldn't raise my legs up and get them out of the car. And after Bruiser Brody's match with me, I felt the same way. A couple hours later, I was in a hotel room trying to get a hot shower, trying to loosen up a little bit. But, you know, you never heard Bruiser Brody say a thing about how rough you was on him. He didn't care. The rougher, the better. Yeah. And this guy loved it, man. He loved to put action in there, and the people loved him. He was one heck of a guy, man.
I know. I actually saw a couple of your matches against him, and again, there was no doubt in my mind that this word F-A-K-E, they starts with the letter F, and it's a 4-letter word, didn't exist. When you saw those matches in there, you were like, damn, these guys are fighting.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the way it was. That's the way it was in Japan with Inoki and me. Inoki, you know, he you know, they said that was some of the roughest matches Inoki ever had. He wanted to go out there and just kind of, you know, get it over with, you know, play around. I said, no, beat me if you can then.
Yeah, you got to fight.
And we fought all over that place, man, all over the Sumo Palace and all through there. And and now they're trying to get a hold of me. They've been trying for a week to get a hold of me about an interview about the guy I hit in Japan.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, listen, do you guys really want to open up this can of worms? Because, being dishonest, being a liar in Japan is a very dishonorable thing. And the guy said, what are you talking about? We got the guy here that you hit, and we want to know why you hit him. I said, are you sure you want to know why? You think about this now, because Antonio Inoki, I hear he's a senator now, a congressman.
He's been involved in politics for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and, they're saying that this guy is saying it was real. Well, no, it was not real. He knew I was going to hit him. I got a piece of paper and told him the only way I'm going to hit this guy is have a piece of paper signed and saying, hey, this is all planned. Because I knew that Vince McMahon was probably behind this thing to have me hit another reporter. And then it all comes up, and it did in one of the depositions. First thing come up, well, first, second thing was, are you in the habit of beating up reporters in other countries?
Oh,
and I said, oh, yeah, they got me, didn't they? I said, I happen to have a paper here explaining the whole thing, and everybody's head dropped in, And like I told this TV show, they're taking it as a real that I jumped this guy, and I was mad at him. I beat him up.
I saw
he run around 5 weeks with a rag around his head.
Yeah.
Hell, I wanted to give him money. I felt so sorry for him.
Yeah, you made him. You made him famous.
Huh?
You made him famous.
Who's that?
Stossel.
Yeah. Yeah, and they want me to come out. I told them, I said, listen, if I come on your show, it's going to be the truth.
Yeah.
And I have written documentation saying it's true. And you got this guy running around here telling you, no, it wasn't true. I really beat him up. Well, I'm sorry. No, I did not beat him up. And if you want to go along with this thing, then, there's going to be a lot of upset people over in Tokyo. And, their suicide rate is real high over there. You do dishonorable things, they take you on a building and push you off.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, they say, oh, another man, suicide, and they don't like dishonorable people in Japan. That's what I learned. One big thing I learned about them. Hey, don't lie, don't steal, don't do anything like that because it's a dishonor. Just like over in Saudi Arabia and all that, they cut your hand off if you steal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not got nothing to do with it here, I don't guess. But there's a lot of things that behind the scenes that we didn't cover in this book because we didn't want anybody to squash this book. And what I mean, squash it. When you're dealing with people that are billionaires, they can do anything they want. And that's the reason we kept it just straight, honest, straightforward. And
well, I'm enjoying it so far.
Oh, it's great. Let me tell you, you'll love it. After you get into it. My wife read it 4 times, and she said, David, I couldn't put this book down the first 2 times, and then John had it all. They corrected all the misspellings and all that, proofread and all that. They sent it back to my wife, and my wife found 4 more pages. John said, "What is she doing?" I said, "No, what you doing? You're using the wrong proofreader." So my wife used to be a proofreader, private investigator, and all that.
So she was perfect.
Contracts.
Perfect for that. I want to talk to you about on May 9th. You'll be in Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling.
Yes, I will.
And this is what
Coeur d'Alene, Illinois.
Yeah, Coeur d'Alene, Illinois, for our buddy Herb Simmons. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's going to be the Bruiser Brody Memorial Battle Royal, and Bruiser Brody's wife, Barbara, will be there as well. So when you started talking about Bruiser Brody, I wanted to bring that up immediately.
Oh yeah, that's great. I talked to Barbara on the phone the other day, and it's going to be great meeting her finally. Got to meet her when Brody was live, It just didn't happen. We were never at the same place, same time, always traveling. But I'm looking forward to meeting her. And Herb is doing a great job down there. The promoter, Herb Simmons.
Oh, he's great.
Oh yeah, the guy is great, man. He's doing a great promotion on this, and they're going to have a large battle royal. I man, I told Barbara I might go in the battle royal.
Well, wait a minute. You're not officially retired then?
No, with a nice trophy, according to how much I might,
You might want to get in there.
I don't think I'd have no competition. And then I said, I need to take that back. They may all gang up on me.
Well,
I may have a problem.
Yeah, but I could see you winning that. For you people out there watching me and listening to Dr. D, just go to SICW, look it up on Google, and you'll get right to their website and all the details about that night in Cardinale, Illinois. And I know it well because I've been put in the Hall of Fame there. Thank you, Herb Simmons. And
yes.
Make sure you show up that night. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about now, the fans have questions, but there's some more stuff that I want to ask you about.
Okay.
So to you are all the years that you wrestled everywhere in Mid-South, all the indies and WWE back then, you are known as one of the toughest guys, if not the toughest real-life guy in the business. Who to you, other than Bruiser Brody, who are some of the other real tough guys to you? Stan Hansen, one of them?
Who, Stan Hansen? Yeah, he was pretty tough character. Stan Hansen, he could be a tough character. And we had a lot of tough guys in wrestling. It was Tony Charles, he was great. This guy was one of the toughest guys in the business. He could tie you up and you wouldn't even know what he did.
Yeah.
And you starved to death. He didn't let you go.
Right.
He did it to me one night, and I used to mess with him in the ring a lot because I knew a lot of moves. Herb Woods taught me, and finally one night he taught me a lesson. He said, "You don't know everything you think you know, do you, Doc?" I said, "That's right. You let me go before I starve." So he was a tough guy. A lot of the tough guys are already passed away. A lot of the new guys around, I don't know how tough they are. I know a lot of them. One guy come up and challenged me in New Jersey here a couple of years ago, and he said, "Oh, you're an old man now. I ought to just slap you." I said, "Well, there's nothing between us but air. All you got to do is go ahead and slap me. But remember one thing. After you slap me, it's my turn. And I am going to beat you so bad your mama's not going to know you when I get through with you." And I said, "Don't let age scare you off, big boy. You go ahead. Here I am." I stuck my face out, and over in the crowd over there, I forget who it was now. He said, "Oh, my God, here goes Doc. He's going to hurt knock another one out, And those guys, one of the nasty boys, I forget which one it was, but he said, "Well, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it today." I said, "Yeah, I didn't think you were. Get out of my way." I walked by him and heard from him or seen him since,
Yeah.
But, these guys all think they're going to scare me. Let me tell you, they got another thing coming, man. I don't scare easy.
No, I know. You were the scary.
Yeah, I don't scare. And I go ahead and let them have the first punch. But let me tell you, I still got one good fight left. I guarantee you. Like that old song goes.
I want to talk
one more time. I'm good for one more. And some of these guys think they let it get to their head. They go out there and they go out here and work for a couple, 3 years, and they think they're bad. Well, I'll tell you, there ain't but 3 bad people in the world, and I get Christmas cards from 2 of them, so they can tell you something.
So I want to get to some of the questions from some of the fans here. Richard Bain says, "Who is Dr. D's favorite opponent back in his heyday?"
Well, I hate to say it, but me and Hogan, we had a
Why do you hate to say it? That's fine.
Well, we had great matches together. We were great friends together. We were great friends until Vince up there told Hogan, "Hey, either Schultz or me." And, he wasn't allowed to talk to me again. And he dropped the friendship that quick. And this guy didn't have a place to stay, man, when he started in the business. He come to our house, sleeping in his van, and my wife said, why don't you bring him in and let him stay in the back bedroom? I said, okay. And, we did that in Knoxville. We did that in Pensacola. We did that in Tennessee. When he first started, didn't have enough to buy his lunch.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and, and now you see what kind of shape he's in. I mean, I don't know. I'd hate to be in that kind of shape.
Yeah, but you and he had some really, really good matches. And it's not about what happens with the politics. It's what the fans are seeing that is the experience. And you two against each other put on great matches.
Yes, we did.
They
we did.
Wars.
Yes. And the other guys there was a lot of them that I had great matches with. Tito Santana.
Yeah.
In the ring. We had great matches. Bob Orton, me and him was tag team a few times. What a heck of a worker he was, man. And you go down the line, Dick Slater, Ron Fuller.
Dick Slater.
These guys was good workers. They was good. And Ron Fuller was he was as good as they come. Him and Robert Fuller.
Yeah.
You never heard no complaints from Ron. Now, Ron go out there and toe to toe with you. He didn't care how hard you hit him, what you did to him, because he would come back because he knew how to take care of himself.
He had that fire. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
and only thing about him, when he hits you, he hits you in your right ear, and he'd go around and hit you in the left. So he hit you in both ears at the same time with them long arms. They just wrap around your head. He was about 6'9", I think, 6'8" or 6'9". Ron was, but I remember Tex McKenzie when I first started.
Oh, that was that tall, lanky guy. Wow.
Yeah, man. He was like a big old spider on you.
No, and
those were some of my first matches with those guys. I'm thinking of a couple more. Bearcat Wright.
What about Bearcat Wright? Sure, I did the obituary on him 10 years before he died. We'll get into that another time. Now, David Bass wants to know. Great live professional wrestling chat. Dr. D. David Schultz was a professional wrestler to be respected and had many legendary battles with all the great legends. How about Terry Funk?
Terry Funk, I always thought Terry Funk was a very, very tough and competitive person. I never wrestled him per se in the ring against each other. We was in the ring together, like different matches, 6-man tags or battle royal or something like that. But because at that time, Terry had the world championship.
Yes.
And he was doing championship matches. And then Dory had it also. Now, Ric Flair was also a great showman. I mean, I had great matches with Ric Flair. Very, very good guy in the ring. Knew exactly what to do, when to do, how to do. And it was, it's hard to explain to people how a person like that can know so much. But, this guy knew, hey, you just listen to him and follow his lead, you'd have a great match.
Yeah, yeah.
If you didn't, he would tie you up or hook you some way, and people didn't think Rick was much of a wrestler. He was a hell of a wrestler.
Oh, he sure was.
Yes, sir.
He was trained by the Gagnes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And, Vern Gagne, we had a couple of words up there one time. And when I quit and went to Vince McMahon, I told Vern I quit. And he said, you don't quit, I'm firing you. Get out of the TV station. And I said, well, Vern. He said, get out. I said, hey. He said, I'll throw you out. And I said, hey, you're not as young as you used to be, Vern, and you might not be able to throw me out. And I'm glad he didn't try, because he probably would have threw me out on my head, tied me up in the knot, and sent me down the road. Yeah. I mean, but that's a young stallion buck like me being challenged by Vern Gagne. I couldn't back down.
You would have been a Schultz pretzel at that point.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. One fan here wants to know, and the only reason I'm hustling, we have a lot of questions and we have limited time, is this fan wanted to know, his handle here is Fred Flintstone. Hey, Fred, Dr. D wanted to fight Mr. T. Is that true?
Who's that now? What's that now? I didn't hear that.
Guy's name is Fred Flintstone. He said, didn't Dr. D want to fight Mr. T?
Oh, well, see, Mr. T, we understand about that. See, Mr. T and myself was at L.A., and we was talking backstage and got a picture with him. It's in the book, matter of fact. Me and Mr. T, that was the night that Vince McMahon had Chief Gay Strongbow to fire me and have the police to hog tie me, handcuff my hands behind my back, my feet to my hands. 6 policemen carried me out and had guns pointed to my head at all times. And they was cocked. The guns was cocked. And they got me back to the back, laid me on the floor, and, I didn't give no resistance, And finally, they took the cuffs off, threw me out the back door, literally pushed me out the back door, threw my bag out, told me to leave. I was fired, and I shouldn't be around it. So, of course, there's no repercussion from that. I asked for a play. They said, no. They told us he was a danger, and we took every precaution.
Wow.
Let me tell you one thing about it. I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. The police officers are misunderstood throughout the United States and the world.
Agreed.
But now, there's a lot of bad apples out there, but it don't make the whole barrel. One bad apple don't turn the whole barrel bad. If the people would listen to the police officers when they tell them, shut up, if they would shut up,
it's not going to go further.
No problem.
Right.
If they told them, get on the ground, keep your hands over your head, there would be no problem.
Yes.
And I mean, the police is in charge. If they come out and they tell you to do something, you do what they say, that's the end of the question. Now, if you think it's wrong or you think you're being abused, then that's what the courts are for. You go in there and plead your case, get your attorney, and if you think you was abused or wrongfully charged or mistreated or whatever, then you do whatever you got to do. But yet, it ain't a place to do it outside. A policeman tells you to do something, do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And you quit all this stuff. All these things will stop because, you see them on TV, they tell the guy, hey, stop.
But they keep going. They keep going. Yeah. Yes.
Because, when I was bounty hunting, I had a little more advantage than most of the police officers, I'd grab these guys in a restaurant, eating. I'd get them in their house, sleeping in the bed. I'd kick the door down and go in, get them before they had time to get out of the shower in the morning. I knew what time they took a shower, what time they eat, whether they know everything about them, the time I called them, And, but the police has got, I've been arrested several times and always dismissed. I have a clean record, have a federal gun permit, all this, everything. I'm legal all the way around, but it don't mean I haven't been arrested. And I always went to court and fought it and checked and got it, and still clean, everything clean. All of them was dismissed, all the cases dismissed, Sometime in the heat of the action out there, people don't understand, man. I went to New York City at 3 o'clock in the morning down at the Grand Concourse.
That's in the Bronx. That's in the Bronx, yeah.
And people
my old
don't
neighborhood.
And I'd go down there till 3 o'clock in the morning by myself.
Yeah.
And pick people up. Now, if people want to be scared, I had a boy the other day say something about he got really scared one night. I said, you want to get scared? Go down there.
Yeah, Grand Concourse.
3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
I was from the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But then again, now I've got to ask you, of course, when you were handcuffed and all this stuff, when you were the victim and the police just told you, don't do anything, did one of them say, is this fake?
Do what now?
No, we'll pass that by. I was just saying all these things you're telling us about what happened to you that time when you were handcuffed and all that.
Yes, up in Hartford, Connecticut.
Right. Did somebody ask you if that was fake when that happened?
They probably did.
Yeah,
but most of the time I let it just go in one ear out the other. I don't, and as far as the police officers, the one that arrested me in Hartford, Connecticut, I had a TV crew with me, and they told me I said, hey, my life has been threatened, the guy behind the door, and I'm going in this door and get this guy. And they said, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. And they said, well, if you're going to do that, you're under arrest. I said, okay, whatever you say. They took 3 guns off me, and all legal, and went to court. They dismissed the case, took it to federal court, false arrest, and interfering with my rights, civil rights, and ended up getting about $25,000, something like that, just to sign off, get rid of it, you know. And of course, they didn't want to hear my name no more. It's hard for the police department.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that.
But that was okay too, you know, because sometimes they got in my way. Because not that they got in the way per se, but legalities would get them in the way. Because I was working under the civil law, and they were working under the law.
Yeah.
You know, the color law, and they can't interfere with a civil action. And I have more power than them on the person I'm after because it's a contractual agreement. And they're not supposed to get involved unless they see violence happening or some endangerment or something, you know. And but it worked out great, man. It worked out great. I brought in thousands of people. I never missed anybody. I brought in rapists. I brought in murderers. I brought in bank robbers 3 different times.
What a colorful life.
Missing kids, and
wow.
You know.
What a colorful life. The before we go, one person I want to talk to you about, because again, there's a great picture in your book. And where can people order the book? Can they just go to Amazon.com and get the book?
Yes, you can get it on Amazon.com, or you can get it EatSleepWrestle.com.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
Don Cosper's website.
Yes.
EatSleepWrestle.com. And I believe it's still #1 on Amazon. And, you know, Don Cosper's website. And, of course, you can get them most any bookstore. You just tell them to order it, and they order it for you.
You know, it's funny. Right above my head here is a sign that says Eat, Sleep, Wrestling. So you're almost saying the same thing here. One guy I want to talk to you about, because there's a great picture of you. And recently he's been, he was recently the subject of an HBO special. Tell us about Andre the Giant.
Hello, one more time. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell us about Andre the Giant. You still there, David?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Tell us about Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant, what a nice guy, man.
Yeah,
I love being in the ring with this guy. The only thing I didn't like when he hit me on the with that forearm across the back. I mean, he couldn't control it. He would knock you. I mean, you felt like your feet was coming up your shoulders, you know. But you know, that's another guy. Didn't care how tough you got on him. The tougher, the better. He didn't care. And what a nice guy, though. This guy was always just as nice to everybody in the ring. I mean, in the dressing rooms or whatever. Never had a problem with Andre whatsoever. Nothing, never. And I'd rather be in the ring with Andre. And a lot of people didn't like to go in the ring with him because he's so huge.
Sure.
But, you know, this guy was so easy to go out and have a match. And he'd beat the hell out of him. He'd laugh at you while you're hitting him.
Yeah.
Come on, boss. You
right.
got all you got, boss. You know, boom. Yeah, that's all I got, Andre.
He was
guy,
amazing.
Man.
Yeah.
He was.
What was in terms, and this is our last question because we're supposed to be bringing Robbie E on it. By the way, I'd like to do a part 2 of this, maybe next week if you're available. I'd love to, because we have a lot of questions the fans want to ask you, and we want to plug your book, of course. But
yes,
yeah. And what is, when you got in the ring, all the years that you wrestled, was there one guy that you got in there and you really had just a tough fight with? Was it Brody?
Brody, no, he was the toughest probably I ever got in the ring with, and the toughest meaning that if you wanted to fight. If you wanted a fist fight back and forth, he didn't care. I was fine with him.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go out and wrestle, Holt, he didn't care. He'd be there with you. I mean, this guy was a very tough guy, always a nice guy. he never, a lot of people say, oh, he beat the hell out of me. Well, a lot of people need the hell beat out of them.
Yeah.
And maybe that was what it was, because a lot of guys go out in the ring, and they don't know what they're doing, and they make you look bad. And if you let them make you look bad, that's your problem.
That's
you need to
yeah.
stop them immediately. You need to let them know, hey, this ain't the way it is going.
You look bad. You look bad. Mr. Promoter's not bringing you back next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the promoters, all that, and half of them that like me because I brought them out of the dressing room.
Yeah.
And I tell them, hey, you don't have a license, get out of here. And and all the other guys be over. Oh, why is he doing that? This guy's a promoter. Well, you running the police out for it. These guys protecting us. I don't need them to protect me.
No, you don't. You don't. I will. By the way, we will also on June 9th, and I'll see you there in person. Legends of the Ring in Cranberry, New Jersey. You will be there signing autographs and meeting and greeting the fans, and beating up people if they treat you wrong.
Yeah, they used to. Herb Wells told me, he said, David, if you stand outside and sign autographs for all these people, they're gonna see you over there doing it. They're gonna say, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He's not a really bad guy, whatever."
Yeah.
So later on, I just changed all that. You could hardly ever get me to sign autographs. I'd sneak in the back door and I'd leave the back door.
Yeah.
Only time they seen me, I'd go in the ring, and when I left, is 15, 20 minutes, all they'd see me. 30 minutes, sometime an hour, according to what's going on,
Sure.
But they didn't see me hanging around out there because I left. I went out the back door and left. And that's the way I kept and just like now, I don't do that many shows.
I know that.
I very seldom do a lot. I'm doing this Herb show up there because it's a lot to do with Brody and different ones. And I'm also going to New Jersey.
Well, that's the one I was just talking about. The June 9th at Legends of the Ring in Cranberry, New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be there. And, I have a lot of people call me and want me to go. And they're, oh, we can't pay you that kind of money. Well, quit calling me then.
Exactly.
Don't call me.
You got to get your bounty money.
Yeah. And I told, I was talking to Tito the other day. And I told Tito, he said, you're not out here that much, Doc. People say they don't see you. No, because I'm not coming out here. If they can't pay, I stay home.
If they can't pay,
I don't need to go anywhere. I've got so much work that I need to be doing, and and I'm getting old, man.
No. Hey, you know what your slogan needs to be? If you can't pay, I'm gonna stay. That's
right. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I've done today, though, let me tell you, what I've done today, most people would consider it, it'd take them 3 or 4 days to do it.
Yeah.
I've probably cut 12 different oak trees down. I've cut up all kind of firewood. I've done gardening. I'm working on my honeydew book. I don't have no honeydew list. I got a honeydew book.
Yes, honeydew this, honeydew that.
And I got chapters in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I have to do all this stuff. And I have to go over here and I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to do it. From the time I get up, and I get up about 2 o'clock every morning, 1, 2 o'clock. And I start about 4, and I don't quit until about 8 or 9, and I'm back up again at 2 or 3. Just always doing something.
You have any critters?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any critters?
Critters? Oh yeah, man. I got dogs everywhere. We had a cat for 17 years. We had to put her down here a few months ago. That was hard. And we got all our dogs were down to about 6. We got a couple of really bad dogs, that people, that's what they're for, to guard, don't come beyond this point. Yeah. And people say, yeah, he's going to bite somebody. I say, yeah, he is going to bite somebody. You go in there gate and see if he don't bite you.
I'm not coming.
You got big signs. You got signs up. Don't enter. Do not enter. Bad dog.
Yeah.
Will bite. Do not feed. And they go over and say, well, I tried to feed him, and hell, he wanted to bite me.
Oh, man.
I said, did you read that sign? And he said, yeah, I read it. Well, do you understand English? He said, yeah, but I didn't think he'd bite me. I'm a neighbor. Whatever.
He's an equal opportunity biter.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
They
yes.
like he ain't supposed to bite the neighbors. Those are the worst ones. And I don't allow people on my compound. I got 65 acres here. Got it fenced and guarded all through. And I've got a few people that stop off and camp different times, different parts of it. But they're nice people. They know they're not going to shoot my dogs, and and I know if they do, I'm going to come after them. So,
Yep,
but
you don't want that.
they're responsible.
You don't want that.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't want that. Dr. D, we're out of time for this week. I want to have you back. I'm going to talk to you and John about more about the book next
That'll
week.
be great.
But
it's been great talking to you, Bill.
Oh, I've been enjoyed this so much.
I hollered at you one time. Hey, in Atlanta, I hollered at you. I had people listening and everything, and I jumped down your throat, and you took off. And I said, "Where'd Apter go?" And they said, "We don't know." I said, "Hell, I guess I scared him off."
Was that? No, you never did. Was that backstage someplace?
Yeah, somewhere. I hollered at you or something, And I said, I thought Bill knew me before all that. He knew, because people watching, a lot of people around. You got to get that little show in,
Yeah. Well, you probably wanted to get on the cover.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm going to get you. All I seen was your back end of you go.
Yeah.
I'm joking with you, Bill.
I love it. You're one of my favorite guests in the whole world.
You're a good guy, man. You helped me a lot, and I appreciate it. Anytime you want to get with me, let me know, and I'll get with you.
We'll try and do part.
Appreciate you talking to me. And let me tell you, God bless you. Have a good night. And I'll be talking to you soon.
And I'll see you in person on June 9th. And the book
That'll
is
be
called...
great. I'll be there, buddy. And I'll see you there. And you take care, okay?
Don't call him fake, Dr. G.
Don't call me fake.
We won't. He's going to come after you if you do that. Thank you, Dr. D. Oh,
okay,
man.
You too. You be...
Oh, man. That was an incredible... He was fabulous. I hope you all like that. I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to get all your questions in. Obviously, we will, you know what? If you want your question answered, I want you to email me at beapter@onewrestling.com. That's the number one. beapter@onewrestling.com, so I can collect all of these and ask him that next week. In the meantime, I'm not sure, someone called here, and it might have been Robbie E. At this time. He was supposed to call in at 7:45, but Dr. D would have come after me if that would have happened. So let's see who called here. And if it wasn't him, somebody's going to get the surprise of their life by being on our show here. Let's see.
Hello.
Hello. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is a student loan service in regard to your federal student loans. How are you?
We're good, but I'm on a live YouTube show right now, and I thought you were someone else. So thank you for calling. And can I call you back after my show is done?
Okay, sir. We'll call you back then.
Now, what is the name of your loan service?
A student loan service. It's for if you have any federal student loans.
Oh, federal student loan. Okay. So I am a senior, but I'm not a school senior. I'm a senior person.
Okay.
All right. So it would probably be good for you to take me off your list because I don't have any student loans.
Okay, sir.
All right. But you're live right now. About 3,000 people are listening to you at the same time. So thank you for calling. And thank you. I thought that was Robbie E was supposed to call in. This 2 weeks in a row now. He was supposed to call in. We haven't heard from him. So right now it is time to, one of the people that I enjoy so much is TV, Travis Volts, who corrected me earlier today because I said it was Geraldo Rivera who got slapped when I knew it was John Stossel, but Geraldo came out of my mouth. But Travis Volts, howdy, 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 anyway.
Howdy, 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 fans, and thanks for turning the audio page to the rankings section.
Yeah.
This is T. Volts here, bringing you the Raw Top 10 for the legendary Bill Apter.
Thank you.
Well, let's get right into it. Number 10 belongs to someone who was a loser this week on Monday Night Raw, but he still had a big showing in a title match. I'm talking about Mojo Rawley.
Yeah.
Speaking of people that lost at the pay window, this was another one this week. The number 9 slot belongs to Kevin Owens. Now on the winning side for his team this week in the number 8 spot is Baron Corbin. Number 7 and holding strong is Jinder Mahal. And number 6, finally, slipping down one slot, we're not walking with him this week, Elias. Number 5, and finally picking up a victory on Monday Night Raw, the one known as Glorious Bobby Roode, slipping back to the number 4 spot for the first time in quite some time, Roman Reigns. Will he regain his status as the big dog in the yard, or will he continue to slip down in the rankings? Number 3, your winner of Raw's main event and qualifier for the Money in the Bank match coming up soon, Finn Balor. And number 2 is perhaps the new face of the WWE,
And that
the
is,
monster among men, Braun Strowman. That leaves us with our number 1 of the top 10, the Intercontinental Fighting Champion, Mr. Monday Night Rollins himself, Seth Rollins. And at the top of the heap, still, your Universal Champion is Brock Lesnar. Hey, thanks for joining up for our rankings this week and enjoying all things Bill Apter.
well,
Back to you, Bill.
Thank you so very much. And Travis Bowles, I appreciate your weekly rankings. I appreciate every time we do anything with you here at One Wrestling Video or OneWrestling.com. And I want to thank you so much. So fans, as I mentioned, in a few weeks, we may be changing over to a little later time spot. I want to thank all of you. And don't forget, Dr. D. David Schultz, his book, Don't Call Me Fake, because he'll come after you. And if you have a question for him, please email me at bapter@onewrestling.com. That's the number 1. So that way I can put them all in a folder and we can get to them. So let me go back into here and see if I can answer some questions before I leave. And don't forget, my book is Wrestling Fixed. I didn't know it was broken. It's still on sale everywhere. And you can get it on Amazon.com. And as I mentioned, June 9th, I will be at Legends of the Ring in Cranberry, New Jersey, that too. And I'll be selling copies and signing them as well. And Dr. D. David Schultz will be there. And hopefully he'll be back here next week. So before we leave, let me see. Richard Bain, another dream match would be Harley Race versus Stan Hansen. That would be another dream match. That would be great. Dominic D, that guy needs to wear a dunce cap and sit in the corner of the classroom. Who are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about. I'm going from bottom up here. So actually, let me start at the beginning, and then we're going to run because you people need to go and watch Impact Wrestling. Yes, John Stossel. I've been corrected. Richard Bain. I loved watching Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Graham and George the Animal Steel. Great choices. Teddy Two Stone Hard. Bring back the Hulk. I agree. It's time. Not to wrestle as a commissioner or something like that, or just to go around wrestling WWE shows and shake hands and say, well, you know, brother, and to tear his shirt off and all that. Hello, Jody Adley. Bill, will WWE do a Bruno Sammartino DVD set? I don't know. They did do that great tribute on the network. It's allergy time. They did do that great special on, and I want to thank them for putting me on that as well on the piece on USA too. That was taped 3 years ago. Yeah. Dream match: Teddy Two Stoned Hart, Dynamite Kid versus Will Ospreay. Both of them in their Osprey now and Dynamite Kid in his prime. Ricky Steamboat versus Billy Robinson. Yeah, we could. By the way, we've mentioned his name. He's the wrestler of the week again this week. Seth Rollins. He has got, it's amazing, out of Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose, you wondered if they broke out on their own who was going to be the A guy, and Seth Rollins has proven that. You know what? Also on the emails to beapter@onewrestling.com, let me know why you don't like Roman Reigns, because I don't get it all the time. I really don't. Okay, it looks like that might be the only question for me, a general question. Yeah, so let's see if there's any news that I need to report in my news wire here before we go. You know that Marina Shafir and Jasmine Duke, the 4 horsewoman teammates of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, reported to the WWE Performance Center this week. Here's something you should know about. Booker T, hold on, let me get this working here. Booker T, Jim Ross, and Animal are among the Road Warrior. Animal will be among the attendees for the 20th anniversary Hall of Fame induction weekend in Waterloo, Iowa. I'm in their Hall of Fame. Thank you. The biggest weekend of the year at the National Wrestling Hall of Fame Dan Gable Museum has been finalized with some of the greatest names in professional wrestling scheduled to attend. The George Tragos Luthez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame inductions are on July 26th through the 28th in Waterloo, Iowa. Nice little town, by the way. The Gable Museum is offering all access passes. Look up the Hall of Fame in Waterloo, not Waterloo, Waterloo, Iowa, and you will see all the information about Booker T, good old JR, and Road Warrior Animal among the attendees for that 20th anniversary Hall of Fame induction weekend. Been a fun show. I want to thank all of you for tuning in, and tell your friends about this. This is that video magazine. If you missed the magazine days, wait a minute. Roman Reigns can have good matches, but he's still missing something. He needs to go heel and tear into the crowd, and then he can turn baby afterwards and will be more charismatic. Sports Center, no, little Robin Williams there. I will be at 6 TV tapings of Rise in Pittsburgh, plus 5 matches after the taping. Send results to beapter@onewrestling.com, please. Randy Helms. Hey, Randy. It's great to have you on here. If you were asked to join the Rat Pack, me, and you had to replace either Sammy Davis, Dean Martin, or Frank Sinatra, who would it be? Whoa, it would not be Frank Sinatra. I loved Sinatra's music, but I didn't buy all his records. That's what CDs were when they were little. Big, rather. Dean Martin, as you know, I loved because he was the partner of Jerry Lewis. But I wouldn't have been Dean, even though Dean was cool. I would have wanted to be Sammy Davis Jr. Yes, because Sammy did everything. He was able to sing, dance. I can't dance. Sing, dance, do imitations. And you never heard my imitation of Sammy Davis Jr. He, if there was a song with the word ooh in it, it would sound like this. Nobody gives a damn for what I say or do, but you. He always rolled his. Thank you for another excellent show. When will Hulk Hogan return to WWE, in your opinion? Should be now. Again, not in the wrestling position. Bill, pick a winner, Ricky Steamboat or Brock Lesnar. If it was Steamboat in his prime against Brock Lesnar currently, Ricky Steamboat. You're Mandy to Mandy Leon, one of my sweethearts of all time, is legendary. And that's every time I get together with Mandy Leon, from Women of Honor, Ring of Honor. We always do a Barry Manilow. Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking. Get in touch with her. Tell her I just did that. Sing the Candyman. Do you know who? Can you tell me who wrote the Candyman? If you tell me who wrote it, I will do a chorus of that for you. The writer of that was from Britain, and he was one of my favorite entertainers. Oh, I'm having fun, even non-wrestling talk here. Mandy Leon is quite the handsome lady. I don't know if I'd say handsome lady, quite the, that would Jerry Lewis would say. No, she's very, very handsome, beautiful lady, very classy too. Dominic, how did you know that Anthony Newley wrote that song? Did your, so now I need to do a little of it, but I didn't do the Sammy Davis version. I did the Newley version because Newley wrote it. So, but I'll do a little Sammy. Who can take the sunrise, sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate, and a miracle or two, the Candyman. We have to all go out for karaoke night, don't we? Travis Voltia, Pedro Morales you want my Pedro Morales imitation? I am ready for you. I am ready for any kind of action, baby. I'm hoping to get an interview with Pedro sometime this summer in his home in New Jersey. I was just given his phone number by a good friend of mine, and I'm going to contact him and see if we can get him on the show. Okay, I think that's it. Check out Paul Roma and Mario Mancini's Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, the Garden of Chaos, Big Daddy says. Okay, we will do that. So thank you very much, and I appreciate all of you, again, spending quality time together. Carol Burnett, it's so nice we had this time together. No. Okay, enough with always end this way. I'll see you at the matches.